One, two. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm very nervous. First time I'm speaking with you.
Oh no. I'm nervous too.
Oh, well, I'm sure everything will be fine for sure. Um,
Oh.
well, first time I'm talking with a VA.
Mhm.
So here we are. Good morning to everyone. Good evening. Good afternoon to everyone who is here today. Allow me to introduce myself because I'm sure that you guys don't know me. My name is Thomas. You can call me Tom Front or any way you like. I'm a Hoyo creator and owner of the server. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much to Katiana for making your time out of her schedule for being here. Honestly, I really cannot be appreciative enough. Um, so before we begin, we have a few rules so that you guys can know. First off, the rules are such: the questions that are being asked, please do not ask your questions about her schedule, about the strike, about unreleased content, politics. Treat her with respect, common sense, and basically all of that stuff. All right. You guys still have time to ask her any questions. I'm gonna go through the text channel, and oh, Katia, by the way, just so you know, we're gonna do this. We have a list of moderators that will be asking you questions from our members. We're gonna do like a few once, and
Mhm.
yeah, we're gonna do like an order. We have a list of mods that will ask you questions. Honestly, I'm very happy about this.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Before we get started, can you please introduce yourself? Because I personally, I already know you from you voicing Mavuika. You did a good job, by the way. Please let
Oh,
us know who
thank
you
you.
are.
Yeah, I'm Katiana Sarkissian. I am an actress for games and animation. I've also done some directing. Um, so I'm most known as the voice of Mavuika, but I'm also, let's see what's out. Hecate in Smite 2, Pernilla in Epic 7. Uh, what else am I in? Mermaid
I
Barbie Reveal or whatever her name is. Mermaid Reveal Barbie and Barbie Doll Adventures and some other stuff too. Fallout, Starfield. Yeah.
Fallout.
hmm
Oh my god,
I
that's
directed
mentioned.
that too. I'm one of the directors on Fallout 76.
You're kidding. Oh my god,
Yeah,
nice.
it's fun. Yeah, no, that game is a blast to work on.
Oh my god, I gotta get started. We just finished watching the first season of Fallout. Speaking of that, and we're waiting on
hmm
season two.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's pretty good. You
Yeah,
directed
thank
Fallout. I thought
you.
you were voicing only a character. I did not see more into your page.
Yeah,
That's
I
nice.
haven't. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's fun. I'm not the only director on the project. There's I think at least four of us. Because it's such a big game and it's because it's live service, they're constantly updating it and they need more actors, directors to record the latest patch. Um, but yeah, I don't really advertise my directing too much at this point at least because
Hmm.
um I don't do as much of it. I think once I get a couple other projects under my belt, then maybe I'll start promoting my directing stuff, but I consider myself still a baby director compared to some other people that I know in the industry that are like super talented.
Oh no, I think you did. I think you did a good job for sure. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Okay, I'll get to the questions real quick. So let me check. Okay, you guys can still ask your questions. By the way, in the Mavuika via MAA channel, it's still open. Or you can ask her in the stage channel. I can still see them, of course. So let's see. We have a question from Miyu, one of our admins.
Mhm.
What is your favorite line of Mavuikas from the 5.0 to 5.2 Art Conquest?
Hmm. That's a good question. I think I have two favorites for different reasons. I think the line that she says before she attacks Capitano is cool.
Oh,
The
nice.
people like us let our blades do the talking. That was a fun one to record. Um, and then a lot of people, I didn't really expect this one to be a hit with other people, but the couple of cons that I've gone to, a lot of people like the quote, "You've done well, now come home." Um, I thought it was like I offered that as a quote when I was signing autographs and stuff, just because it was in a cutscene. But a lot of people really resonated with that, and I was like, "Oh, that's really sweet." If people find comfort in a line like that or like warmth, I'm glad that they did, and yeah, I think that one is a line that has become one of my favorites.
Oh, that's nice. One of my favorite lines from the Archon quest up to this
Mhm.
point is before Mavuika uh, unleashes her power fire to the sky to the, I think it
Mhm.
was the Abyss Gate.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was like a good work. I was having a lot of anxiety to what's going to happen with everything, uh, and yeah, honestly, it was like way beyond that I expected.
Mm.
My far expectation was from Fontaine, and now we're here. It was awesome.
Mhm.
Oh my
Oh, I'm
god. Yeah.
glad. Oh, when she announces her like true name, Habarim, is it that
Yes.
line? Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, well, there's like
Mhm.
a lot that's been going on, so I haven't been paying attention. I was just like so into the gameplay.
Yeah, yeah. No, that 5.1 was crazy, and I'm glad they went for it. Like because I know people were like, "Oh, Natlan, it looks so colorful. How is it the nation of war?" And I was like, "Guys, just hold on. Hold on.
Yeah, it just
You'll
came
see.
out.
You'll
Just wait
get
a
your
bit.
war."
You wait a bit. I'm sure of it. Let me see. So we have a
Oh, sorry. Am I spoiling things for people? Like, should I
no. I think
not?
you're good
Okay.
as long as there's
Okay.
not two 5.2 because the patch just came out, by the way. Let's slow down on the 5.2 wise.
Okay. Well, I don't even
Of
think I'm
course.
in 5.2, right?
Oh, what part are you in actually? The region,
I
of course.
well, for I know I am in 5.0 and 5.1. I don't know if I'm in 5.2.
Oh, you that far from the story?
Um, well, I don't think they had me record anything for 5.2. But I
Uh,
don't know. I will not do any spoilers
nope.
or anything else. Sorry.
Not a problem. Uh, one. Okay, so we have a compliment from Hans and a question after. Just wanted to say I'm a big fan of Mavuika as a character and how you portrayed her with the voice acting. All the best.
Oh, thank you. What was their name again?
Hans.
Hands. Thank you, Hands.
Question is, how did you feel about the cutscene when Mavuika got the combined powers of all six heroes of Manhattan and one shot it to the scary thing in the sky? Oh yeah, that one.
Um, yeah.
How
No,
did you feel?
it was really cool. It was kind of like the climax of that patch, right? So, and it was everything that she was waiting for so long. So it was really special. And honestly though, I think my favorite part of that was right before the cutscene where she says something like, we have a bitter war ahead of us. Like something something, so no more lives are lost. And because we had just seen like I'm not gonna say who, but someone die. So, and it was like too late. It was like if they had all the power like beforehand, then they could have potentially saved that person. So it was so tragic, and it was so like the mood of the quest was so somber, but finally there was like a hopeful turn, and I think yeah, it was a really cool moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of goosebumps there for sure.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah, I did put the other VA in the settings.
Mhm.
Due to you know what, so I'm not gonna mention, of course, but yeah, I do understand that you guys have lots of things to do, and I wish you guys the best of luck, of course.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Um. third question. This one is from Matt. How much fun did you have on voicing Mavuika throughout the story so far, and how was the experience for it?
This is crazy, but like I obviously I had fun, but also I think when you first meet her, she's kind of at her lowest in the Archon quest. Like, um, cause I mean, with 5.0, right? She's just realized that, like, how do I say this? So, the whole culture of Natlan, right, is that they kind of have to glorify war because that's all they know, right? So they glorify dying in battle and stuff like that. Um, and so, but the promise is to that, like, yeah, we glorify death because Archon can bring you back, right? That's kind of the whole culture there. So now that entire, uh, like, belief system is shattered because all of a sudden she can't bring, can I say the name?
Uh,
For 5 points?
yes. 5 point,
Like, all
yes.
of a sudden she can't bring Kachina back. So it's like, what how do you continue
Oh
forward, you
yes.
know? So
Oh yes.
it's yeah, I see someone said permadeath is a thing now. So that shakes her to her core because now it's like this is under her responsibility, and she's already seen a lot of, she's already gone through so much, like from 500 years ago, and now she's kind of reliving this like permanent loss, like the idea of permanent loss. So she is at her lowest, and on top of that, she's also continuously giving her life force up, so she's tired. She is at her lowest point in 5.0. And I think what is kind of cool is that in 5.1 she gets a little bit more confident that no, this time it'll be different, and hopefully we'll see more of that. But I think it's, you're starting off at your lowest point and going and building off of that, which I think is different from maybe Farina. Because at Farina, it's all like the act, and then you kind of see the truth and all the uh, sorrow. But I
Yeah.
think with Mavuika, it's the inverse. You see her lowest first. Maybe. We'll see if that changes, but.
I'm starting to like more Mavuika than Farina. I'm just gonna say this as a player.
Oh, wow.
I'm just going through like the order of which nation should we go next. So after Natland, of course, we know which one, but I am
Mhm.
sure that I will be loving Mavuika longer, for sure.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah,
Oh, so
you
I
did
don't
good. Yeah.
thank you. Well, I don't know if I answered the question properly, but I think because of like kind of starting at her lowest, I was honestly really stressed out because I was like, I don't know how they're gonna take that. Like the fans are gonna like accept that because she isn't. She is nothing like Farina in terms of how she portrays herself. So I was like, they might get a little shocked. I don't know. Um, but I enjoyed I enjoyed playing Mavuika, not because like, oh, she's all sunshine and rainbows, but because she has this arc that I think is so it's valid. Like I think anyone who like I fortunately, thank God, have never experienced war up close, but I
Oh.
have my family is a bunch of immigrants. So
Oh.
I have heard their stories. They were refugees, I've heard, all that they have gone through, and I'm hoping that I bring that truth to the character, you know?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know. That's sad. But
No,
how's
no,
your
it's
family,
okay.
by the way? Are they
Well,
okay?
right now we're okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This was before I was born. My grandparents and my parents were born in the Middle East, so they ended up coming to America. They had the rest of their life, and then I was born. So I was the first in my family to be born here. But yeah, it's so I always try to hold their stories close to my heart and make sure that I'm doing them justice and bring whatever stories they have to Mavuika, you know?
Well, that's so adorable. You have no idea. I
Thank
love
you.
it. I really love it. Wow. Honestly, good story. I really loved it. And I wish your
Oh,
family also the best as well. Honestly,
thank you.
they must be very lucky to have you, Katiana.
Oh,
We cannot be thankful.
thank you.
um, let me see. So one last question before we're gonna switch over to our mod.
Yeah, sure.
Ooh, very important question. Okay, I have a friend who is a VA, so this one's gonna be pretty good because I know they're
Hmm.
here. Do
Hmm.
you have any advice on someone who is a small voice actor and wants to go big? I learn anything I can.
Yeah. Okay, so I would recommend, I don't know where they are with their journey, but the most important thing is to take acting lessons. Because and like have a strong foundation. And you don't need to go to like college or something for it. That's what I did, but you could also, sign up for private lessons or like community like workshops and stuff like that, do community theater because at the end of the day I think someone mentioned it, but like Mavica is honestly basically my voice, maybe a little bit deeper and more resonant because she's a more mature person than me. I think I'm a little bit sillier than her. But so a lot of the roles I think that most actors book, sure we'll like pitch up and down for certain types of characters, but more or less we're kind of acting first, and then if we need to put on a voice, that's secondary. So, strong acting foundation. And then after that, then once you do your classical theater stuff, like, and you learn who Stanislavski is and Uta Hagen and stuff like that. And this is just my advice, take it or leave it. But after that, then you can start doing like VO specific workshops that help you learn what kind of characters sit well in your range. Like I have a lower voice in the industry, a relatively lower voice. So, like characters like Mavuika that are kind of more warriors and like stoic and strong, those are kind of the characters that my voice gradually those are the characters that I typically book. But like yeah, so theater training, then voiceover classes so you can play around with voices, and then after that you make your demo, which you can then send out to agents who, if they like you, they'll take you and start sending you auditions. So that's kind of how I got Mawika's audition. I had a demo, reached out to an agent, love them. They're called Atlas Talent. Um, and then I started auditioning through them for a bunch of projects, and Mawika was one of those projects.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, there were like a lot of questions about how did you get booked from Mavuika, and you completely
Mhm.
got this question answered. Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, I could go in more in depth if you want, because that project was codenamed, and like I think someone asked like, "Oh, what drew you to Mawika specifically?" To be honest, I
Oh yeah,
I
please.
auditioned for all of them. Like I think I auditioned for Shalonen, Mulan, and they were all codenamed too. I just don't remember the code names. So they honestly, I think my Shalonen was pretty good too. I
Oh
was like,
my
"Are you sure you
god.
don't?"
Can we get an
um,
example?
no, no, no. No. I
Oh,
think
that's
I think Beth Curry did an I think Beth Curry is her name. Beth Curry did an amazing job. I love her. I love her lines, love her sass, and I think there's a reason why she booked it, just like there's a reason I booked Mawika. So, no example for today.
oh,
But
that's okay.
because I want to respect Beth's amazing work. Uh
Mm.
and I don't think I could do better than her. So I think, yeah, so basically I auditioned for everyone and then they just picked whoever they thought was the best. And I actually had a callback too. So I had recorded those auditions, sent them off, and then didn't think about it. And then I got the callback and I was like, oh my God, I think I know what this game is. Um,
Ooh.
so that was my process. And then when I found out, I was like at the dentist and they're like, "Oh, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just booked something exciting."
Oh, that is big actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, we're glad to have you. Oh my god. Okay. Or one of our mods. Can anyone take over? Gary.
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm right here. Okay, hi, I'm Gary.
Hi,
Mod here,
Gary.
of course. I want to apologize for any background noise because I am in a dorm. I have a roommate. I just wanted to
Oh
get
no,
that
you're
out of the way
good.
first. Okay, so continuing on with the questions. Okay, this is generally asked by everybody. So we're just gonna get this out the way. Who is your favorite Genshin character? aside from Mavuika.
Yeah. Besides Mavuika, I think Dia. I think Dia is just such a badass, and she's also really cool, but she's also girly with her makeup, and the entire is it Sumeru or Sumeru?
It's Sumeru. That's what I've
Sumeru. That
heard. Yeah.
entire Sumeru like storyline, I was just like, Dia is peak. I don't care about anyone but Dia. No, I cared about the story. And I think Nahida grew on me. I was like, ah, but then I was like, oh yeah, no, she's a cutie patootie. But no, Dia is the best in my opinion.
I love that. I love that.
She's just so cool. Like I would go shopping with her. I would, have a girls' night with her.
That's so real. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, another question. Are there any aspects of Mavuika that you could really relate to / connect with?
Um, I think just in general, like I kind of mentioned like my family's story, and
Yeah.
I think that kind of immediately clicked for me. I remember in the audition they mentioned that like she's for the people and she just wants to make sure that the people are okay, and it's always, focused outward on the people around her rather than internal. Which is valid. I think it's like she's probably more she's probably more because I don't think we present ourselves the same. She's very stoic, she's very regal, kind of serious, and I don't think I am in my day-to-day life. But I think our core values are the same, where it's like making sure everyone's okay, um, protecting people that might not be able to protect themselves. So I think our core like values are the same, and it's just that
Mhm.
outer shell that might be different, if that makes sense. I
Yeah, it does
also
make sense.
Yeah. And I also really love like her whenever she gets a little like philosophical, like her whole like time tangent in 5.0. I was like, yeah, okay, okay. We're talking about theories and theoretical stuff. That's cool. So I think she has like a little like nerdiness in her too when it comes to stuff like that I think I relate to because I'm a nerd. And I enjoyed like, because she's usually so calm and collected, but every once in a while there'll be like little hints of excitement on like an idea that she has, which I think is really fun.
Okay, okay. I really, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Why?
Personally, because like low key, I'm like fanboying a little bit, just like low key. So
No, you're
I'm just trying
good.
to. Okay, let me grab another question. Here's this question
Mhm,
from Val.
mhm.
How does it feel to voice such a highly expected character as Mavuika, reaching towards the player's expectations in your delivery while joining deep into an ongoing narrative as an integral part and expanding outwards for future involvement? Oh, and how does it differ from your prior experiences, like from Epic 7 and Smite?
I definitely felt more pressure on this one. The other games they were more or less like one or two sessions only, each. So you kind of go in, you record, you do your thing, and you like get out. But with this game, because it was like I kind of knew how big the game was, there was a little bit more like trepidation. Um, and also it was like a different experience because instead of like recording one or two sessions and then being done with the character forever, I knew I was going to be coming back. So it was kind of cool seeing the character, um, the character's arc kind of become shaped, and kind of going through that with the character, see how they change a little. So it was a really cool experience because I felt like I was also growing with her as time progressed.
Ooh, okay, okay. I like that. Okay.
Hmm.
That's really interesting, really. It's
Thank you.
really interesting that you said that you grow with her, like the more that
Hmm.
you Looks like that's really interesting. Okay. I'm not sure if this was asked previously. I don't think so. Okay. How did you come across the job of voicing Mavuika, and what made you take the job?
Yeah, so I auditioned through my agency. Didn't know what
Mhm.
it was. I had some suspicions, but everything is so code named that you're never 100%. But yeah, sent in my auditions for like all of the playables. And I didn't hear anything, and then I got a call back, and then they had changed the lines, but it was still one of the characters, I think. Or maybe it was a different one. I don't know. Maybe I don't know, because it was all codenamed. But I auditioned for that callback, and then I booked the character that we now know as Mavuika.
Oh, okay. A fallback.
So it wasn't like a you booked it on the first audition. It was like a hey, we want to hear more. And I was like, oh, that's tough. Because then you start getting invested, you know? It's like, oh, I'm so close to booking it. But this time it worked out. Sometimes callbacks don't work out. But yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. This is the last question I'm going to ask before passing it over to another moderator.
Mhm.
And this question is if Mavuika had a chance to get along with other Genshin characters, who would you choose? Like you can pick anybody, even Archons.
If you had a chance to get along with someone?
Yes, like
Um,
anybody.
I feel like she would get along with like the other badass ladies. Like I think maybe Beto or again like Dia, I think they'd probably
Mhm.
get along. I think she could like because everyone's like Neuvillette doesn't like the Archons, and I personally don't know why. Maybe because he has like a line like he's gonna judge the gods or something like that. I don't know. I don't know exactly the reasoning, but I feel like they would kind of get along because they both care about just, protecting people, and I don't know. I think they're both stoic. Or like Zhongli maybe. I don't know. I think they would I don't know. I think Malika's calm or mature enough where she wouldn't get into a fight with anyone. Unless they're
Yeah, I think
Capitano, I guess.
hello. It's finally nice to have the chance to speak to you. The excitement has been there, the anticipation has been there. So I just want to say thank you for giving us a chance. It's really nice to speak to you.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to meet you.
Great to meet you. Okay, so I'm recovering from a cold, so if there's a question you don't hear properly,
Mhm.
I would be glad to repeat it for you.
Okay.
Okay. So the next question is from Truth Seeker, and the question is, do you also play Genshin? If
Mm.
so, what is your funny newbie experiences?
So I started playing it after I booked her. And I like kind of rushed through Mondstadt. I loved Leeway, I think I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah.
Sumeru. Let me see what's a funny story. Oh, I think like I didn't understand what artifacts were for a really long time. So I think I got through like all of Mondstadt without using artifacts at all. And maybe some of Leeway. But my friend sat me down and was like, okay, you gotta lock in, get your artifacts, go to these domains.
Oh
And I was
yeah.
like, oh, this makes the game easier.
Yeah, it does make the game easier and it's also fair. I got
Mhm.
into the artifact system fairly late and I think I'm doing pretty well for myself now. So that's perfectly fine.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next question is it's a very interesting question. It goes, if you could spend a day with Mawika, what would you two talk about? What would you do?
Um, she's kind of more of a thrill seeker than me. So I don't know. I'd probably take her to like I don't know, because she'd probably want to go rock climbing, and I don't like rock climbing. I like laying in bed. So I would probably like
That's fair.
I
That's
don't know,
very
amusement
fair.
park, yeah. Maybe like we could because in Santa Monica you can like rent like electric bikes and
Mm.
like drive around, Santa Monica Pier. So maybe we'd do that. I don't know if it would be fast enough for her,
Oh,
but it's plenty
you can
fast for
ride a
me.
bike?
Yeah, yeah, you can like there's like electric bikes. I don't think they're motorcycles, but they're like kind of scooters and you can get an app on your phone and then just pay for it and you can
That's
just like rent
amazing.
like electric bikes and stuff. Yeah, like little
Oh,
e-scooters and stuff. So we
that
could do
that sounds
that.
like something she would like. Yeah.
Yeah. Um she'd probably want to hit the gym and I'd be like, okay. I guess. I guess, girl. I guess we can.
Oh,
um
yeah. That sounds like, yeah. I get it too. I'm the type to not want to do anything, and my friends don't want to do something, and it's like, where do we find the balance here? But
yeah.
that's very fair.
See, this
Okay,
is why I
so
said my Shalonen would be good because I'm lazy like her.
yeah. Oh,
But
okay.
yeah,
Okay. What's your thoughts on Capitano and Mavuika's interactions slash the fight with him? Like, what do
yeah.
you think about the number one Harbinger?
I think like they're very their dynamic was really interesting. And I remember when I was first doing even before the fight scene, the trailer, their entire like the shot of them kind of, you know, back to back, yapping to each other. Well, I guess it was a one-sided yap because she starts talking and then he just goes, huh.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like
I
an
kind
ongoing thing. Yeah.
sorry.
No, no, continue, continue, you can
Oh,
continue.
um, I think I kind of expected them to have like a back and forth from the beginning. Um, and kind of seeing the first fight, because I didn't really get too much context before. Um, but I kind of was expecting some confrontation. And in
Yeah.
5.0, when he starts like yapping and villain monologuing, she kind of just shuts him down. She's like, "Girl, I don't have enough time for this. Like, I have to save my nation. I don't want to hear you." So so I remember like playing that scene super like kind of blunt, just being like, "I don't have time for you." Like not even upset, just like over it, you know? Um
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
then in 5.1, you kind of get to hear his reasoning for being there, for what he's doing. Um
Yeah.
and that's when I think the two characters get more interesting, where it's just, they're both the strong people, God of War versus strongest Harbinger or whatever. Um
Yeah.
and we see them that they're finally on equal footing. Like for Mavuika, who's always being built up as like the super strong lady, we get to see her as an equal with someone else, which I think is always really interesting. But then
Yes.
not only do we see that in combat, but now in their argument or their debate or whatever you want to call it, um, they both have the same goal. It's just their approach is very different. And that
Mm.
always is really cool because you get to see the characters like at their core, their ideologies, their beliefs, and when those beliefs get questioned or challenged, I think that's when the interesting character moments happen.
Yeah. I think this one is like a personal question for me.
Mhm.
I wonder, did you ever see any memes surrounding the Mavuika Capitano fight? Do you see any memes? Any like funny memes around
Oh,
that?
I saw some memes. I saw like the famous kick. Um,
Yeah.
so that was funny.
I think that was
Um,
what I pictured in my head when I just asked you the question. The kick.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I see all the memes, they're very funny. I try not to retweet too much, just because like uh Yeah, I see the little gif someone posted.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's the
just because I've been told like, okay, be careful because you don't want to promote too much of like two characters or else people might get upset. Like the whole shipping
mm,
stuff. I know people are like, just be careful what you say. So I just try to be
yeah,
mindful of that.
that's fair.
But I think that fight scene was really cool. I loved the fire versus ice dynamic.
Mm,
And I think the characters, like no matter like how you view them, like as enemies, friends, something more, whatever, I think no matter what, I think they elevate each other as characters and they make each other more interesting, which I really appreciate.
The next question is, what do you think about gacha system? But I think this would only apply to you if you've played like a variety of gacha games. Would
Yeah,
you have an answer to that question?
I'm pretty new at them. I think the only ones I've played
Mm.
is Genshin and um Epic 7 a little bit. Oh, and then the Pokemon digital TCG game that just recently came out. Um, so I don't really have a strong opinion. I like Genshin as a game. I think all three gotchas that I mentioned are very different in terms of gameplay. And it's just the core like gotcha pulling mechanic that's the through line. So I think I like them.
Yeah, they're 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 pretty okay when you don't use the 50-50.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so I believe this will be my final question, and this question is more in depth about like goes more in depth into how voice acting is like. So
Hmm.
this is a bit of a different question, but what do you think about voice acting in the long term? Since voices can change with age and
Hmm.
there's so many uncontrollable factors with a person's voice, do you think that affects voice acting in the long term?
Yeah. So I think my voice isn't going to change as much as some people's just because like I already have a lower placement in my voice. So with age it might have some texture, it might get a little lower, but I think more or less this is what you're going to hear from my work for a decent amount of time. But I know a lot of my friends who have higher pitched voices, they worry a lot because they're like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sustain this long term. Um because their voice is probably going to get lower in a more noticeable way as they age. But I think in general, age happens to everyone. And then just as like I know when I auditioned for like the characters that I auditioned for are more or less my age. Um
Mm,
but I know like as I get older, then the roles that I'm going to be booking or the roles that I can relate to are probably going to be the older roles. So
yeah,
So I think it's just, I know my archetypes and the things that I book now, and that is probably going to change in the next 10 years. And then after that, another 10 years, and so on and so forth. And I think that's okay. That's just like on camera acting, you know? You're not going
yeah.
to play like the young ingenue forever. And that's okay.
Perfect. It was really nice having the opportunity to speak with you.
It was
All your
great meeting
answers have
you too.
been very insightful. Thank you so much. And
Oh,
now
thank
I'll be
you.
switching over to the next moderator.
Hi, I'm Dino. Sorry if I'm a little nervous.
No, no, you're good. You said your name was Dino?
Yeah, Dino.
Dino, gotcha.
All right. So next question. Question from Kato. How do you feel about Mavuika's character personality? Can you tell us about her power scaling?
Um, so talk about personality, and then what's the other one?
Can you tell us about her power scaling?
Like, what do you mean by power scaling? Like how strong she is in cutscenes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Um, I mean, her personality is like she's gone through a lot, so I think she's kind of just hanging in there. I'd like to think. Um, yeah, she kind of has to be very confident, and composed because people look up to her. Um, because she's the Archon. But I think she has this habit of, okay, because I need to make sure everyone else is okay, sometimes she forgets to make sure she's okay. I think that's the kind of person she is, because she's so selfless that she kind of lets herself kind of not crumble, but it affects her, and she doesn't want to work on herself because she's so outward focused on the people. It's like, honey,
Mhm.
to take care of other people, you got to take care of yourself. Girl, come
Yeah.
on. But you know, every character has strengths and shortcomings, right? That's what makes them a cool character. Because if you're perfect, then you're not as interesting as a flawed character. So I think that works for her, and I think it makes her an interesting character because, you know, sometimes there's only so much you can give before you burn out, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So so that's her personality. In terms of the power scaling, uh hmm. I mean, she's really cool. I don't know what I was expecting when I started this character's journey, but she powers up a lot, and she punches the sky, which is really insane. So that's really cool. I don't know how much more to speak on the power scaling, but she's cool, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry if you hear my dogs in the background.
Oh no, you're good.
So this is a question from me. How did you get into voice acting? And vo- if you could, would you voice any other characters from Genshin?
So I got into voice acting because I was like a theater kid growing up. I liked singing, acting, performing on stage, and then I also played a lot of video games, and I was like, oh, when it became time to figure out, okay, what am I going to do with my life? Like, because I was nearing the end of high school, I was like, well, I like games and I like acting, so why don't I combine the two? And so I was like, all right, I'll figure it out. I'll do this voiceover thing. I'll give it a shot. And so I kind of listened to a bunch of other actors' interviews of like actors in games that I like and looked up to. And I kind of looked at, okay, what classes did they take? What schools did they go to for theater? What can I do to kind of replicate that, but also figure out my own path in this? And so I did as much as I could. Made my demo like once I graduated, reached out to agencies, got an agent, started auditioning, and then booked some work.
Ah, okay.
hmm
So next question is from Kylie. Do you talk to other voice actors? And if so, what was your first impression of meeting them?
Yeah.
P.S. So, P.S. I've always loved Mavuika, and I started Genshin just because I heard of our Archon. I was diagnosed with eye cancer, and I'm currently at the end of my journey. It's good to see my cancer is coming to an end, just like Genshin. You're perfect for Mavuika. I'd be surprised if you voiced the whole nation Natlan cast. You have a burning talent.
Oh, well, thank you. And I'm glad you enjoyed her. And I'm glad that you're also, it sounds like you're doing better. And I'm really glad that, because that's scary. And I'm really happy you're okay. Um, could you repeat the question one more time?
Yeah. So, do you talk to
Yes,
other?
gotcha. Thank you, Dino.
You're
Yes, I do. I'm actually friends with Skirk's actress, Kaniche and Ahal's actors, and Hazo.
ah.
Hazo, I think is the character's name, and a bunch of other people, but I'm just naming some people that you might know. Um, but yeah, so the community is very small. So we all kind of know each other, or if we don't know each other at the moment, we'll meet each other down the line. Um, so yeah, it's a very tight-knit community, and I'm really it is interesting when you first meet someone that, you know, you might have heard as a fan before. But that I've kind of experienced that so many times now that I'm an equal in their eyes and stuff.
Mm.
That it's just something that you kind of go through, and now it's like really cool just having friends that you can kind of relate to with work and stuff like that. Yeah. So I do talk to other actors. I'm friends with some, I work with some, and the ones that I haven't met yet probably will one day.
Yeah. So Mavuika has this massive loss in her past, but she's
Mhm.
always so collected and doesn't often show her pain. What
Right.
was it voicing those few scenes where she does talk about her past/family, showing a bit of that hurt while still playing the composed Archon?
It was exciting, honestly, because every time you get like the backstory, you kind of figure out why a character is the way that they are. So it was pretty cool. I remember a couple of the times that I recorded a line that was like more emotional, they actually kind of made me toughen up. So, I didn't get to, or I didn't show as much of that inner sorrow that I thought I would. But I guess it makes sense again because she's kind of putting on, I know I said she's not like Farina, but she's also putting on a performance of her own where she has everything under control, you know? But she doesn't. Um, so it's always like even though I'm sad, maybe I can't express how sad I am. And that's why we do get the little flashbacks of like her sister and her mom and her peers from 500 years ago because she still can't bring herself to admit how sad she is, right? So the only perspective we have to see like the gravity of what she lost is those little scenes where you kind of walk around as her, you know?
So yeah. Oh, I think we lost her.
Oh no.
Yeah, I heard some cuts, so I think they're gonna have to be back a bit soon. I didn't keep count of the
Sorry,
questions. Oh, you're back?
I had a really bad. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry.
No
That's
worries.
okay. Glad you're back.
So this is from Val. Are you excited
Mhm.
to meeting with other Genshin travelers at cons and events? Likewise, feel free to come to Canada once the cons season returns once more. We will welcome you.
Could you say the first part again real quick?
Yeah, are you excited to interact and meeting with other Genshin travelers at cons and events?
Mm. Yeah, I've gone to a mini convention and then a small one in San Diego, and both times like I had such a blast. There was a Mualani cosplayer who taught me the dance that Mualani does on TikTok or something. And so I recorded a dance which was really fun with them. um So just I think it's really cool when I go to cons and I hopefully crossing my fingers I get invited to more um because like you get to see the community and like these games that are online and multiplayer because I know there's co-op in Genshin they
Mm-hmm.
they're all about community, you know? And I think it's really rewarding seeing fans who, you know, you might have inspired or, you know, just had them added to their experience, you know. I think it's really sweet meeting them and talking to them and seeing their perspective and how they've, you know, taken the story and connected with it. Um so it's really I really enjoy every time I get to meet fans.
Yeah. So this is from Aries. Question
Mhm.
out of the whole universe.
Mhm.
What would you say is your favorite musical?
Out of the whole what?
Genshin universe.
Out
What
of the
is your
whole
favorite?
Genshin. Favorite musical?
Yeah.
Oh, like the songs or
Yeah, I
oh,
think
okay,
so.
okay. Um, hmm. I think the Liyue music is very not nostalgic because I didn't play it that long ago, but Liyue in general, I think the music is very like ingrained in my head, maybe because I spent so much time there. Um but also I do love the Natlan theme. I think it's really good. Like I was listening to it on Spotify, and the fact that they incorporated the choir and all these instruments, and it's so uplifting, and it's an anthem, and it sounds like a very like patriotic anthem. And I think again it kind of incorporates it's so perfect for this nation where you need to have pride in that land in order to lay down your life potentially for it, you know? Again, going back to the whole like glorification of death in this culture, right? So it all the music adds to it, the narrative adds to it, like the everything about it. It's I think it's so perfect, the Natlan main theme and motif. And then I love the slowed down version for the speaker's chamber. I think that might not be what it's called, but they take the leitmotif and then they play it softer with the guitar, and I think that's really pretty too.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to head off to the next person now.
Yeah.
I'll take over because one of our admins isn't here.
Okay.
But we'll do a loop.
Okay.
Unsure if this one was already answered, so I'll ask from Abyss of Shadow Skype. If Hoyo ever does a Natlan and Liyue event, would you like to interact with Zhongli? You as Mavuika? And what topics would you like to talk with him about? If, let's say, Hoyo lets you choose the topic of discussion, what would it be about?
Yeah. Yeah, I, as a fan of the game, love Zhongli. So I'd love my character to interact with him. It would be cool, like asking, because isn't he kind of a dragon too?
Zhongli is I think he's known for the dragon at that cutscene.
Uh-huh.
But nowadays we know him as the wine dude.
Okay. Well, I guess because if he's not actually, like, I know he is the Archon, but I thought that he was also partially a dragon, but maybe that was not correct. And if it's not
Yeah.
correct, then I never mind. But if he is, because the Adeptus isn't he like a
yes.
dragon Adeptus? Is that
I
not
remembered. Yes,
correct?
that's the one.
Because then I would want to know his perspective, because the dragons in Natlan are so different from, I guess, what we've seen outside of Natlan. So I would want to know if he has any commentary on that. If not, I just want to know why he's so broke all the time. Like, dude, lock in.
I mean, he's like the god who made Mora, and how come he's that poor?
Like, I'm sure it's just like a running gag, and it is fun, and I like the god of money but doesn't have any. I think that's a cool bit. But I'm also like, come on, dude. Come on.
I
It's
really
okay.
love Zhongli, yeah.
Yeah,
Zhongli
he's silly. I like him.
Well, because of him being poor, but also because I know the VA from Persona 5 back when before I played Genshin Impact. I knew the voice the second I met Zhongli on the story. I knew it was the VA, of course, Kel Cyberstein. We know him already. With his deeper voice. And honestly, if you did not play Persona, you should. Persona 5 is like perfect.
Yeah, no, I've played Persona 5. And yeah, I think Keith was one of the actors that like I looked up to like in high school before I even went into the industry. So yeah, like it's really cool getting to be in games with the people that you looked up to.
That's perfect. Personal mission. Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I've also been playing Overwatch recently too, so I've been hearing him in that too.
Oh, do you know who he voices? If you don't mind me
A
asking.
Torbjorn?
A Torbjorn?
Right? Torbjorn? Yeah, maybe.
Oh, Torbjorn. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know the character, but I know by the image.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get back to Overwatch, but I stopped. I don't have enough time, unfortunately. Okay, let me see. So we have a question from our partner at Albedo, Main Blossom. If Mavuika could play Genshin Impact, who would she main?
That's a great question. I don't know. I can only speculate. I maybe herself, I don't know. Maybe uh maybe like an Archon like team, or I don't know, like I apparently Bennett's really good with her. I don't know. It's tough. I'm gonna just say with her, or like any pyro people, or like a squad of like cool women. I don't know. Oh yeah, it's probably someone mentioned Shalon in assist. That makes sense.
Oh yeah, that.
I don't think Shalon would be happy, but
Oh, she an assist. Oh, we love her.
yeah.
Question from Soph. Do you have a favorite nation besides Natland? A favorite one that you would have to pick?
Mm, I think I'm biased. I really like Sumeru just because of the like little inspirations taken from the Middle East and South Asia. Um, I think Fontaine's story was really cool, but I think like Sumeru, and I kind of see it in Natland too. I just liked how the all the main characters, they felt like a team, throughout the entire storyline. Um, and I liked their like little plan to save Nahida and like all of that. So I think it's really cool, and I kind of see that kind of working with Natland's like six heroes. I think it's kind of that same, we're a team, we're a cohesive unit, and we're working together to do XYZ. Um so I liked that aspect of Sumeru a lot.
I loved it too. Especially the story. I think this is like probably the nation that made me sub a lot
Mm-hmm.
because of the
Oh,
music. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, whenever I hear music that's like very sad-ish, but also to the
Mhm.
culture of Sumeru, not only do I get goosebumps, but I sub.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I just that's why I got Nahida, and I was very proud to have gotten her. She's like so cute.
yeah. She's awesome.
Yeah. Question from Ametrine. Would you ever consider going to cons in other countries if possible?
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to visit internationally. With cons, from what I've been told, it fans need to request actors. It's not like actors have con agents, and I do have one, but I think it helps a lot when fans request the actors. So if if I was requested, I be there in a heartbeat. I would love to. I think it's a cool opportunity not only to visit other places, but also get different perspectives. Because when you're going to a different country, the culture is different. So that might change how certain places view a character, you know? A character
Yeah.
might be viewed this way in the West and this way in the East. So it's really interesting seeing how the perspective can change. Um, and also, like, again, because I think Mawika's story is so precious to me as a kid of immigrants, and I just would love, seeing if that resonated with anyone else too, you know?
Well, you know what? You got me interested to a follow-up question, so I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah.
As you would love to go overseas for cons and events.
Hmm.
My question is, which place, if you were to pick one, would be like your dream to visit? Should you be invited to cons, like anywhere, hypothetically?
Oh, I don't know. I can't say. I can't pick just one place.
Well, okay, I'll allow you
Um,
to do two.
two.
Yeah.
Um, ah, that's tough. I can't pick two places. I don't know. I think, well, earlier, okay, I'll say this because it's kind of a cop-out answer.
Go on.
Um, Early on when I was recording, Hoyo came to visit and they met me in person. So I would love to visit where they're located so that I could return the favor. Because I took them out to lunch and I showed them like kebab and like stuff like that.
Oh, yum.
So we got to have a really fun lunch together. And I would love to visit them, and they brought me gifts and stuff like that too. So I'd love to bring it back and reciprocate it. Because they traveled overseas, some of them. Some of them were local to America, but some of them definitely were not.
Oh, okay.
So I'd love to visit them wherever they're located
Oh, that's
and bring
nice.
gifts back.
Oh, for sure, yes.
But truly, like don't have a preference. I just want to meet people from all over the world. I think that would be really cool.
Oh, that's a good answer. I like it.
Yeah, thank you.
Question from Laddie. If you did the Archon quest and saw your voice acting, how did you feel about them?
Uh, it's I am used to it now. When I first heard my voice, I was like, "Oop, that's me." I don't typically like hearing myself. And I think that's something that like a lot of people feel and experience. So I was definitely very critical at first, but I'm happy with the end result. I'm happy with the character and what I bring to it. And I think it's just like kind of my own nerves and anxiety that um made me like apprehensive, but I'm happy with it now,
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I can relate to how. I mean, I also dislike my own voice.
Yeah.
But it's whenever I record myself and hear it back when editing,
Mhm.
it's like this. It's like the same feeling, for sure.
Yeah.
So I can totally get it. I mean, we have
Mhm.
we have different feeling of like how we can relate to ourselves, to others.
Mhm.
So yeah, I totally get your feeling, and I'm glad you're doing now. Good.
Thank you.
One last question before I switch over to our mod. Oh, that's interesting. Question from EXO. What were your initial impressions of Mavuika's design, and how well did she fulfill your expectation of her being Natlin's Archon and the God of War?
Yeah. So I didn't get the design until pretty late. Again, like with all the auditions, they don't give us any art. Like any of the auditions for NPCs, whatever, any auditions we get, they give you very little. So it was kind of once I booked it, then I got like some artwork, not the full like body or like in-game render. Um, so I kind of was just like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, that was kind of it. I because okay, the thing that they said in the audition was like very regal. So I was imagining like just kind of queen, right? Like like a very like bare bones queen image in my head. Um I don't know. A lot of the Genshin like fashion and art, like I think with Auroron it also came up. Like his art makes you want to think he's one way, but then he's actually like a softie instead of like an emo, like edgy guy. So I think it kind of like Genshin does that a lot with characters where um they'll have one like look and aesthetic, but then they'll also be this way, They like to play with that,
That's
if that
nice.
makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
Um
I totally get it.
um but yeah, that's my answer, I guess. And she's cool looking. So yeah, I'm happy.
Okay, that was my last question. I'll switch over to our mod Gary.
Okay.
Hi, I'm back.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, starting off. I had a question, but then like I scrolled away from it accidentally. Okay, if Mavuika could fight another Archon, who would she choose?
Um, I don't know if she'd want to fight anyone. I don't
Fair.
think
That's
she'd.
fair.
Yeah, I think she's. Again, I think because a lot of people expected her to be one way, right? When the trailer dropped, like, oh, maybe she's brazen, maybe she likes to fight everyone. But that's really not her at her core. I think she picks her battles wisely.
Mm.
And so I don't think she would want to fight any Archon unless they, I don't know, like they did something where
Directly
she was like,
challenge her?
we need to fight her. Yeah.
Oh. Oh,
I don't think she would want to fight anyone though.
okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's fair. She doesn't really seem like the type that would like actively like try to pursue a fight
Yeah.
anyways.
Unless it's like a spar, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. They could train together. So I think it would be like oh, I've heard you're a respectable warrior. Like I would love to experience your power firsthand. Something like that. Then
Mm.
like, yeah, any of the fighting gods, I think it would be fun to train and spar. Um, like I could see maybe Zhongli or maybe Raiden, I think is her name.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it would always be like not like an actual fight. It would be like I want to experience, your strength and be inspired by it kind of. Because she does admire strength and she does like improving herself. If there's something to gain and they can train together, that's one thing, but not an actual fight.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. From Huno. What do you think of the no Mavuika drip memes that have been going around, if you've seen any?
I think they're funny. They're like based off of the Megamind meme, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're funny. That's all I can say, but they're funny.
Okay. I've always seen them around on Twitter ever since.
Mhm.
Like, it's just everywhere.
Mhm.
Okay, this next question is from Void. And you said you played Genshin, so have you ever had a funny newbie moment? If so, would you be willing to share it?
Yeah, I think my newbie moment was not knowing what artifacts were for a good 1.5 regions.
I
Yeah,
understand. I understand.
thank you. Oh, and then like I didn't know what the wave riders were. Um, so I thought I had to swim everywhere. And I was like, how is this possible?
Uh-oh.
But yeah, a little tough.
Oh, I
But
get
yeah.
that. I get that. Okay, this next question. What's your favorite detail about Movika, and what's your favorite voice line of hers? I think the second one has already been answered, but
Like detail, like physical detail or like story detail.
I'm not sure. But I think either is fine, whether physical
Mhm.
or story. Yeah.
Um, hmm. I just really love her entire arc. I love seeing how someone who's gone through so much can still be so warm and compassionate and lead with empathy. Um, because I think she's better than me. Like I don't know if I went through all that if I would still have that same spark and hope in life. But she does. And I think that's really beautiful and I just hope she succeeds. I hope she
Mm,
deserves the best. So I'm crossing my fingers that yeah, she is
she
happy.
really, yeah, she really, really does deserve the best. I really want her to be happy as well.
Yeah.
Okay, building onto that, do you think this is from Lati? Do you think Mavuika plays a good role to her nation and as an Archon so far?
Yeah. I think again she does the best with what she can. She isn't like a god like some of the other basically all the other archons. But I think she's still very present. I think she, really truly cares about everyone. Is she perfect? No. Kachina is an example of that. And again, there are concerns, right? Like her entire plan was on the 6 heroes coming together. That's a big risk. So she's not perfect, but she's doing her best, and I think she's there when it counts. And yeah, I personally think she's a pretty good Archon.
I agree.
And
I
people
agree.
can disagree,
She's
but
yeah. She's taking these big risks for the better of her nation.
Mm-hmm.
Like she genuinely like cares so much.
Yeah, and it's true what the line that she says where it's like, what are you trying to save, the land or the people? Right? The people carry
Mhm.
the culture, and Natlan
Mhm.
more than like a physical place, it's the culture that she's trying to protect. Because
Yes.
like
Yeah.
look at like all these places in the world, right? Countries today that exist, they're no, I'm not trying to throw shade to Raiden. Raiden's cool too. Uh, a lot of these places today, their names are not what they were 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. But the culture is the thing that kind of uh gets passed down from generation to generation. And the culture could be the food, the language, the music, whatever. But that's at its core what I think a country or a people are. So for her, like, when she asks, what are you trying to protect, the land of the people? If no one remembers what Natlan is, if no one remembers, or I don't know exactly what the Capitano's plan was, but I'm pretty sure it meant like people would forget all about who they are, what the country is, or whatever, then that's basically killing Natlan because then there's no culture left. So I understand what Capitano's perspective is, right? Because then there wouldn't be maybe as many deaths as 5.1's war has, but then there's nothing left. Like you lose the thing that you're trying to protect and the thing that is worth dying for. If that makes sense, guys. Sorry.
It like for me at least, it makes so much sense. That was just like a really powerful message, honestly.
Okay, good. I'm glad. That's at least my perspective on it, but people can obviously disagree. But yeah, so that's kind of, I think, what I have to say on that.
Okay, so this final question that I'm asking before passing it over, from Emma Train. I'm sorry if I said your name right, said your name wrong, by the way, Emma. What vision would you have personally, like Pyro, Hydro, etc., etc.? Like, what vision would you have?
Mm. Um, that's tough because I mean, I always liked fire as like an element, so I feel like it's again easy answer, but like pyro. Um, just because I'm a fire sign, I'm a Leo. So I've always been like, oh yeah, fire's the element, right? And then like I grew up on Avatar: The Last Airbender, and uh, like I didn't want to be edgy when I said it, but like I liked the fire guys. I thought they were cool, and I liked the in terms of like combat styles, I liked how aggressive fire was. I didn't like the things that they did as a nation, but I liked the fighting style. Yeah, like Uncle Iroh's cool. Actually, yeah, when I had my audition for Mavuika, one of like the character touch points I had was Uncle Iroh. I was like, I wanted to, um, I was like, okay, so she's kind of a combination of like Wonder Woman, Uncle Iroh, and like a mom. Like I based her off of my mom a little too. Um, so that was kind of the character inspirations I had for Mavuika. But that's a tangent. Sorry, I was looking at the chat. But yeah, so I like fire. I like pyro.
Okay, so now I'm passing it over.
So, so first off, sorry for any weird audio things. I'm sitting outside. Second off, you have your pyro vision. Which Genshin character do you think you could beat in a fight?
Uh None of them. I don't think I'm a good fighter. Unless I was well, first off, great to meet you, Spider. I don't think I could beat any of them cuz they're all pretty strong, aren't they? Well, I know Amber's like not as meta, so maybe Amber, but I don't even know if I could beat Amber.
Maybe you could use Bennett's bad luck against him and beat him.
That's an idea, sure. I could beat them in like a board game. I don't know if I could beat them in combat. That would be sad too. I would be like, no, I don't want to hurt you guys. But yeah, maybe Bennett. I think that's a good idea, Spider.
Okay, so next question then. How many takes does it usually take for a line?
Oh, that's
Oh,
a good question.
it's by Tart.
Cool. Thank you for the question, Tart. So usually when I go in to record, they'll give me the context for the line, and then I'll give my A and B, so two different versions of the same line. And then if the director has any like notes, they'll give me the notes, and then I'll do it again, another A and B. So that's kind of the process that we have. Sometimes I get it like with the correct intention on the first time, or the A or the B. But then sometimes it's like, oh, but this is actually the context, or that was valid, but also we're going to try to do it this way so that later down the line there's a callback, something like that. So it depends. Usually the shorter lines are a little easier to get because there's not as much critical analysis to like put into it. But then some like monologues, it's like, okay, well, how do we break this up? How do we show the shifts in the thought process? So those we might take some more time on.
Okay, that makes
Mhm.
sense. I don't know this person's name. I'm gonna go with M just to be safe.
Mhm.
If you weren't a voice actor, what other job would you choose to do?
That's a great question. um, One that my parents think about a lot. They're like, they wanted me to do like be like a lawyer or something, and I was like, that's cool, but I'd rather do this. I think I do like law. I think it's fun looking at like the rules and then how that applies to certain situations. So maybe, and I also was like a very much an English kid, so uh like I wanted to do like English. I wanted to be an English major at one point. So maybe law. I also at one point did a lot of business classes. So maybe accountant. For some reason that like made me happy, like making sure like all the everything was balanced, all the Excel spreadsheets, stuff like that. But I don't know. I can't seem oh, maybe a musician too. Um I don't know. I changed my major so many times because I could never pick one thing, which you can hear because I keep changing my mind right now. So I think I can't imagine what I would do if I wasn't a voice actor because I don't think I could make up my mind enough to do the thing.
Alright, I think I've got two left.
Cool.
Val asks, what are your thoughts on Mavuika's character design, and if you had a choice, how would you redesign her to add a personal flair?
I don't know if I would. I love her character design. Again, any one of us who auditions, we never see the art. But when I got the art, I was like, yeah, that's really cool. If anything, because I don't think I would change anything. Maybe just adding a little like an accessory from like her past, maybe. Just so that she, as a character, has something to hold on to when she is feeling sad. But like I really could not critique that design. I don't have an eye for fashion or anything. So I wouldn't change anything personally.
That's fair. So, Levy or Levi's asking a question relating to one of the ones you just answered. Do you
Mhm.
play any musical instruments?
Mhm. I I played cello when I was a kid. And then I played from like 3rd grade to maybe 8th grade. And then in high school, I picked up the guitar instead of the cello. So I play guitar, I can play the ukulele. At one point I played the clarinet, and then I recently bought a recorder, but like I can't lock in and learn that. I really wanted to learn Megalovania. It's not happening. um so yeah, maybe I'll pick up the recorder, but I don't know. I think my brain is too scatterbrained now at this point. Um Hope that answers the question.
Well, good luck if you ever do.
Thank you.
Lyra asks, what has been your favorite part of the experience of voicing Mavuika so far? Sorry if you've already answered that one.
No, you're good. Just kind of learning, because again, I didn't really know how important she was to the story. Like, they didn't say this audition is for the Archon, because we didn't even know what game it was. I didn't know like if it was going to be a small role, if it was going to be a big role or whatever. So getting to go in and see her story unravel and see how much depth she has to her is really crazy, and it's really sweet. It's like a nice surprise every time I go in to record. I hope that answered the question.
Last one I'm asking.
Okay.
Aries asks, they're making a reappearance. What's your favorite musical in a sense of real life?
I missed the first part of that question. Could you repeat it one more time?
Wasn't really part of the question. They're just saying that they're making a reappearance.
Oh, I see. Okay.
What's your favorite musical in a sense? Oh, you already heard that part. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. So that's tough. I really like Oliver Twist. I also really like Pippin. I think Pippin's very silly, it's very fun, it's quirky, but it's also kind of dark, and I do like darker storylines personally. So Pippin was really cool. Oliver, I think I have a soft spot for because it was like the one musical my dad was able to see growing up. Because again, they had other circumstances going on at the time. Overseas. So the fact that, because I remember one day coming home being like, "Hey Dad, we're doing Pippin at school." He was like, "Oh my God, I loved that." Or not Pippin, sorry. Oliver at school. And he got so excited because that was like the one musical that he had seen and he could connect with me on. So I do have a soft spot for those two musicals. I did see Wicked this week. It was really good. I loved it. The cast was amazing. So I love all musicals, but those two have a special spot in my heart.
I'll hand this back over to Tom for the rest of the time. Was nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you too.
Thank you so much, Spider. Okay, we have 1 minute left already? Wow, that was fast. Well, let's see. Do you have anything you want to say to our members and of course to our fans before we end?
Thank you for listening in. Thank you for taking time on your Sunday to listen to me yap. I hope that the Archon quest has, resonated with you guys, and I hope that I could, bring some good into your life, I guess, is what I'll end it on.
And Ozio is here. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Sorry that I wasn't able to be here.
No, you're good. I'm glad you got to pop in at the end.
yeah, I just wanted to say thank you and that this was an awesome opportunity and that I'm so happy that we could do it and that, yeah, it was hard work put in for the server and that I hope that
Oh.
everybody has enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you to your entire team for all the work that you put in to make this happen.
You know what? I'm so proud of them. Every single one of
Aw.
them. They did a lot of work.
Yeah.
I would just pop into the teams. I would be like, okay, I need speakers. You guys gotta pick who's gonna speak. And they did. And yeah, I'm so proud of them, honestly.
Yeah.
All of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to all of you guys. They're the one who made the arrangement with Katiana. Honestly, I cannot be more than thankful for this. Also, if you guys have missed this event, do not worry. It will be available on YouTube, and if you want, you guys can rewatch it as well. I'll make an announcement for this. Thank you to Ozio. Thank you so much to our team. Thank you so much to Katiana for making the time. Honestly, it was so good talking to you, and of course, alongside with our mods. And yeah, I think that's about it. You were awesome. I cannot be more than thankful to have interacted with a VA. You're my first one, so there's that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to our members. And yeah, that's it. You guys are free to leave, and I'll see you guys on to the next event for sure.
All right. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
You guys were great. Thank you so much. You guys are free to leave.